Look at her. Look at her mama, man. Look.
Hey guys, it's Kella. I'm back with another video. Today I am doing knotless braids on myself. This is like 5 days after my suppress.
Catch me in the whip, ride with her. Hey, sipping something, bumping big.
So for anyone doing their own knotless braids at home, here are my tips and tricks. I learned these from doing my own hair or from doing braids on my clients. So just keep in mind, everyone's head is different, and if these help, I'm glad. If it doesn't, I'm not sure what went wrong. Don't blame me. First, you can see I started off with a blow dry just to touch up my roots and the ends again. That's going to help with parting and also going to help with braiding down the hair itself. I'm parting my hair using a double mirror. That's how I look at all the angles. I have a mirror in front and behind me, and I just line it up to where I can see. For me, what helps with clean parts is first I will part my hair using no product, and then I'll put gel on the roots or the scalp of my hair and then just clean up the part. I'm about to section all the braids out from now instead of sectioning one, doing a braid, and then when I get to the end, the braids are 4 different size boxes. I know this angle is kind of choppy. You guys are going to get a better angle later, but the way I'm doing it, the method I'm braiding my hair in is with both of my hands on one side. You guys can also look up another method of with both your hands behind your head. That's a different way that people braid, but this is easier for me doing it on myself because I braid, I'm trying to get a good grip. I braid tight. I felt like doing it behind my head with both hands behind my head was so loose. I don't know why. Also, 2 different ways to do knotless braids in general. What I just did was I braided my natural hair once or twice, and then I added a piece of hair. Later, you're gonna see different.
I know these other niggas thirsty, but please never entertain them, cause that would hurt me, you feel me?
So right here, I added the braiding hair next to my natural hair to act as if it's my natural hair when braiding down. So right here, I'm on my second piece, when normally I would probably be on my first. Doing it this way for me helps it look tighter, it helps it last longer, and it helps me do more versatile styles like putting it up in a ponytail. It helps it flip better. So for this tip, you can use it in braids in general and not just knotless braids, but you see that one strand is thicker than the other or one strand is longer than the other. You're going to add that piece of hair exactly where you see it. Make sure you find the 2 strands that need the most hair and put them right next to each other. Add the piece of hair so the hair doesn't cross all the way over. You have to mix later to get that strand where you want it. Now you can see they're even. They're looking all the same length.
Focus on me. Can you focus on me? Baby, can you focus on me? Can you focus on me?
So remember, there's a mirror in front of me that cannot move, but the mirror behind me, I can manipulate it anyway, so now I can see one side better than the other, and I can focus on parting that side. That's what I just did. That's why it's important to have 2 mirrors if you're trying to get clean parts and like really make sure the mirrors are helping you. You can use that one mirror to see the whole back of your head or just one single part, any direction. It's great. Another tip is when your hair gets too long and y'all trying to braid it all the way down, you can put it under your chin. You could use your toes. No, I'm just playing, y'all. Don't use your toes, but y'all can put it under your chin. Just try not to put it in your mouth, because if you ever like dip the braiding hair fresh out the pack, it's still as dirty as when you dip it when you're done braiding. It's just not, it's not safe. For me, these were medium to largest braids, so I did 2 rows to the ear, and then I'm gonna part down the middle, part my front section out and separate it from the back so I know how much is left, how many rows are left in the back without like trying to get all them triangles and trapezoids at the top. If y'all were like, girl, what the hell you talking about? This is what I'm talking about. You see in the back, you see how it's kind of like a dome now. It kind of looked like a what's it, like a, I don't even know what shape that is, but it's straight, and then you got that little circle. Over there is where you're gonna get either 2 trapezoids, 2 triangles, 2 something that's not necessarily a box or that won't really fit in. So this is the best way to avoid getting more than 2, because 2 max. Okay, so when it came to parting the front for the medium to largest look, I wanted 4 rows. So I parted the last one. I parted the top one, which is like the first row, and then I made sure that the 2 in the middle were even. Right here, I'm making sure that the first and the second row were even, and then the third row looked kind of bigger, so I just evened out the third and the fourth row, and then I begin braiding again. So even though all the boxes are even, my hair in the front is a little bit thinner. So I'm making sure that those pieces match up to my actual hair, and they're not just the same pieces in the same width as all the other pieces around my head. You may not know until you start braiding, until you play with it, but if the hair pieces are too big when you start and it's not looking knotless, it may look just like a regular braid. So to get that knotless look, make sure the braiding hair is not thicker than your actual hair, and then to get the braids all the same size, you can start adding pieces a little bit further down, just as soon as you get that knotless look.
'Cause I don't wanna hurt nobody. Did it over, tasted and call me. Still got love for your mommy. I know you wanna be somebody, even if you gotta leave somebody. Yes, I'm good, yes, I'm good.
So right here, this is what I'm talking about. It started off a bit smaller than the braid next to it, but they both ended up being the same size a little bit further down. And in the long run, you can't really see it, and it helps your natural hair not have so much tension and pulling from the braiding hair. All that thick braiding hair on your natural hair, it's not good, this protective style. So you want to make sure that it really just evens out in the long run, and that it's not so damaging to your natural hair and the edges. Like, y'all kind of get what I'm saying. Don't add the same amount of braiding hair onto the thinner parts of your hair as you would the other braids, the thicker pieces of your hair, because that's just gonna pull on your hair in the long run and just make it thinner. So like I said, guys, I'm doing the method where both of my hands are on one side, or aiming for one side, where my hands are not behind my head. So that's why I have to take out some braids. Like this one, you can see a kind of lump because I'm braiding at an angle when I'm supposed to be braiding how the braid is supposed to fall. So then that's when you want to start using the 2 hands behind your head and try to get that natural braid it to where it falls. Doing it this way might make it a little bit harder. So if you feel like you can braid behind your head, I give it to you. I cannot. So that's why you want to make sure you're braiding to where the hair is supposed to fall if you're using both your hands on one side. Now the same thing I did on the other side, I'm going to do to this side. I'm going to do the same amount of rows and the same amount of braids, just like I did the other side. For in the back, of course, it's not going to be the same amount of braids in each row, but for the front, you want to make sure that it looks symmetrical. So the reason why I did 2 rows in the back and then I started working on the front is because it was easier for me to find that dome shape and the foundation after I did those 2 rows, and It's because if I work on the whole back of my head before doing the front, I may get tired, I may get burned out. So that's just to prevent the front from looking lazy. Like, just do the front as soon as possible, because that's the most important part.
Come back at 6, wake me and your child, and then won't lay today. Make me wonder who you might have been playing with. Makes me wonder who you think you're playing with. I'm gonna tell myself to keep playing this record back over and over again.
So as you can see, I finished the front and now I'm working on the rest of the hair in the back. The products I used were EBIN Lock and Shine Gel. It says extreme firm hold, and I feel like it works really good for all hair types. I used it for braids, locks, twists. It worked good. There's this other gel called like lock and something, and it's mad expensive. So I feel like this is a good alternative, especially for locks and retwists. I also use Yaky Hollywood braiding hair. I used it in 1B. That's the hair that I used for the rest of my head. And then for the red, I used Sensational XPressions. I did 1B red. It's kind of like an ombre. Y'all can see it. It's not completely red. It came ombre with the top black and then the bottom red.
That's why you refuse to let me walk out to life. You refuse to match up with my vibe. You keep wasting my time. You keep wasting my time.
Cozy.
So I'm on the last part, and this is very important because it's not just the top of your head, it's like the back too. People can still see it, so you want to make sure you're breaking your neck, break your back, use all the angles you can use to try to look in the mirror and make sure that those are even, symmetrical. And you can see where I'm about to put the 2 triangles. I'm going to explain more later.
I better find your loving, I better find your heart. I better find your loving, I better find your heart. I better find your loving, I better find your heart. I better find, give all my love, and nothing's gonna tear us apart.
So this is the part where I'm talking about you're either going to have like 2 trapezoids or 2 triangles, but it's really common when you're parting your hair for you to have 2. That's why I said more than 2, you probably did something wrong, but most of the time everybody ends up with 2 something that's not a perfect box, because your head is not, it's not boxy, it's a circle, so you can't expect everything to, you know, be a box. But I do have a way, like a parting method, where you can like cover a row of boxes on top of those two triangles, so you don't see triangles at all. I'm gonna insert a picture, but I don't know how to do it on my hair. But if I could get a model, I'm gonna try to show y'all one day, like a whole parting method for braids. So please let me know if you would like to see that video, and also don't forget to leave some ideas and some suggestions in the comment section. I know I have to do a Q&A for you guys because I never really fully introduced myself, but yeah, here's some styles you can do with these knotless braids. This is a very versatile style. Me personally, I don't keep my braids in for longer than like a month or so. So I'll come back and I'll do updates hopefully in my next video if I still have these in. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys stayed to the end, comment below what you're doing for Valentine's Day. Let me know. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye. I fell in love with a lesbian. Can I knock on your door, baby, let me in. I should've learned my lesson then. I didn't wanna keep going, I was hesitant. I try to ignore the evidence. But I'm gonna trust myself, ain't no better than. Want the roller two-tone like the president. And it ain't been no back and forth ever since.